Hi. Over the years, there have been quite a number of Star Trek role-playing games produced by various different companies. Here you see the ones I've owned, and I don't think this is an exhaustive set either. And given the number there have been, you'd expect there to be quite a lot of companies out there producing figures either officially licensed by Paramount and CBS, or unofficially with slight name changes, but are perfectly compatible for use with Star Trek. But there aren't really. This one here is the FASA role-playing game, and this particular example was actually produced under license by Games Workshop in the 1980s, and Games Workshop did actually produce a series of figures which have long been deleted, so they're somewhat hard to get hold of, and I believe there are now some HeroClix figures based on the latest J.J. Abrams films. And I found one company that did some compatible original series style figures, but that was about it. And it occurred to me that I quite wanted some movie vintage figures, so we're talking Wrath of Khan through to The Undiscovered Country. And with few available, and what was available was not expensive, I instead set to work converting my own. This is the first one I came up with. It's a Command Division officer, as you can see by the white collar and shoulder strap. And to make this, I used parts from Games Workshop Cadian Imperial Guards mainly, except for the head, because I wanted a head that had neither a helmet nor a headset of any form on. And to get that, I had to go to West Wind Productions from their Berlin or Bust 28mm scale game. They do separate heads, and that's a plain-headed American head. The legs come from a standard Cadian soldier, but with the pockets taken off the trousers and the gaiters taken away from the boots. The torso is from an Imperial Guard tank commander that came from the accessory sprue, which is no longer standard in all the Imperial Guard tank kits, but you can still get it direct from mail order. Whereas the arms come from the tank commanders on some of the super heavies. The phaser was very fiddly to make. It's made of plasticard. A 1mm core, a 1mm thick core, a 0.5mm plate either side to build out the top a little bit, and then I put on a tiny bit of a plastic antenna on the front to make the muzzle, and then another tiny little bit underneath for the magazine sticking down. That sort of phaser is crafted after the assault phaser from Star Trek V and Star Trek VI. And then after I'd done that one, I decided I wanted some more. So I've got a medical officer. It's made in the same way, with plasticard equipment. A medical kit under there is plasticard, and just a random medical instrument is just 3 bits of plasticard put together. Again, these are Games Workshop Cadian parts and a Berlin or Bust head. And I have a helmsman with a phaser and a communicator. Those are all made from plasticard. Again, using the same sorts of Games Workshop parts and Berlin or Bust head. An engineer. This time I've used heavy weapons squad legs so I can get him in a kneeling position. And the bit of equipment that he's got with him, that's just an electrolytic capacitor that I had lying around, left over from work. And not all of them are human. I have a Vulcan science officer. Again, using Cadian parts for arms, legs, body, plasticard for his tricorder, and then the head is a resin Elven Ranger head from a company called Basics. Unfortunately, you don't get very many in the pack, and there's only a couple of them appear suitable at all. Well, that was my only option, size-wise, and the actual features on it. So there's 5 officers. made primarily from Games Workshop Cadians. Of course, the issue here is all of those are male, and anyone familiar with Star Trek knows that women play just as important role in Star Trek as men do. But there's a distinct lack of female figures from Games Workshop that are suitable, so I had to look elsewhere to convert them. And this is the first of the female officers I did. This is converted from EM4 Miniatures female cop with submachine gun, and all I did here was file down on the body all the bits that weren't needed. So that was a pistol holster, a baton, and there was a very big collar at the back on the jacket, which I removed. Then I cut off the submachine gun she was firing and replaced it with a phaser, which is made in the same way as the other phasers were. And so that gives me a female communications officer. And then I have a female helmsman. This figure comes from Crooked Dice, and it's one of their Daredevil pilot figures. Didn't require much work at all, just some minor details to be taken off. The tunic on the original figure fastened in the middle rather than at the side, so I had to fill in some cracks with green stuff, but it wasn't a very long job at all. So there is a set of officers. I also did 2 enlisted men. Again, these are using Games Workshop parts mainly, and then Berlin or bust heads. The legs for these are from the tank commander on the accessory sprue, where we've got the tunics for the officers, and the body is actually cut from Sentinel pilot. It's cut at the belt so that it mates in with the legs, and then they're just painted up in the colours of Starfleet. Again, the equipment's just made from plastic cards. We've got a pad there, and that one's got a communicator. And of course, every single Star Trek needs security guards, because you need plenty of security guards to show the audience how the monster works. These use Games Workshop parts again, and in fact they use more Games Workshop parts than any of the others do, because the heads are from Cadian regular infantry. All I've done is taken all the details off the helmets. So that's the bits that stuck out the side and at the back, and then at the front I took off the winged skull that's common on them all, and I produced the sort of close-fitting helmeted head that is on the security armour featured in some of the films. And then again on this one I used Heavy Weapons Squad legs for his legs, so he's crouching down. The legs are from the regular infantry. The bodies, like the enlisted men, are from Sentinel pilots, and then the arms are just from a variety of sources: regular infantrymen, tank commanders, basically anywhere I could get a suitably posed arm. The armour itself is made from plastic card, 1/4 millimetre thick, just sort of draped over the figure, then with some details added. There was a hole cut in the middle for that white bit. So there we have it. That's a set of 11. I can make more if I want. I'm planning on putting instructions on my website for these, but they're not there yet. And I'm also planning on making some Klingon figures to go with these. Again, movie era vintage. And if I manage that, I'll be doing a video on them sometime later. And that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Bye.